Yeah. Money one, none and cool, 거짓말만 많지, just do it. Like Nike, just do it. Get to know me and I 내 flow가 잡은 눈이.
Shall we start?
Yeah, sure. Whenever you're comfortable.
Okay. So how was your lockdown period? Did you miss your college? I mean, did you miss Vanasthali or were you
Was
enjoying?
uh, I really miss the college because we went for like a week, and it has been. It's going to be a year soon.
Yes.
So this was pretty unexpected, and I really miss college because we left off at a stage where we didn't know that it was the end. I don't know if it is the end or not, if we're going to come back or not. The university has not given us a clear cut message if you're
Yeah.
coming back or not. I think third years are not coming back for sure. Second,
I
third
am in
years.
second year. That's really bad for me.
Yeah. We are at a divided stage where we do want to come back or we don't want to come back now because the whole class is pretty divided.
Yes,
Because it's just a couple of more months. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we miss college for sure.
Okay. So everybody has some expectations from their college when they actually enter the college, when they started. So what were your expectations from Banasteri? Were you like, oh, it's gonna be boring, or were you like, okay, it's fine, it's gonna be interesting?
So mine was just it was a fluke of moment that I was in Banasthali. It was not because of parental pressure. First of all, I would like to clear it to everybody that everyone that comes to Banasthali, it's not because of parental pressure. Some actually do want to go to this college. I was one of those students, and I didn't even know about Banasthali. My
Mhm.
best friend said that her mother wanted her to go. So I thought, why not? I give it a shot as well.
Okay.
Both of us were selected. She backed out.
Okay.
I didn't, and by the fluke of moment, I came into Banasali, and expectations were much more strict because
Okay.
when you look at their pamphlets and the website, you
Mm-hmm.
expect a much more serious environment. And
Hmm.
when you come into the college, you realize, oh, it's all right. It's just us.
Yes.
It's just your peers. They're not somebody from outer world. They are having the same experience that you have had. Of course, there are pretty much differences in their opinions and everything, but it's normal. But like a couple of setbacks were like no freshers.
Yeah.
Freshers was
That's.
something. I am from Delhi, so I'm surrounded by Delhi University students,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of that, I didn't get a fresher.
I can totally
So that
relate.
I think this is a pinch point for every one of us, which we
Hmm.
then compensate later by having Monday nights.
Yeah.
But then after Monday nights, after I think a couple of Monday nights, we all kind of settle it down, tone it down, and realize it's all right. We have our own fun and everything.
Hmm.
But the best part about the college is actually hostel. It's a fully
Yeah.
residential college, so all of your friends are together with you. So,
Mm-hmm.
like my expectation versus reality, I didn't come in with much expectation. I was just throwing myself into a situation where I had no idea what's going to happen. I had no
Okay.
clue. And a couple of expectations, as I said, freshers and senior interaction. I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to have that, but that didn't happen as well because that is termed as bullying in the college.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't there. But the fun fact was that if you really want to meet your seniors who are really welcoming, you just need to go and meet them.
Yes,
Once you meet them,
exactly.
they welcome you with open arms. Like they are the ones who are more, after being a senior, I realized we are the ones who are more than excited to welcome the new batch, to meet the new, students and everything. So, yeah, then I
We
realized it's okay.
we have live
Just take a
examples with
step.
us.
I have to.
I mean, yeah, we have such helpful seniors that I don't think any other student will have or would have had. I just feel that my seniors are
Seniors
probably the
go
best.
here, yeah.
So,
My seniors too. Like the seniors I had, they'll go leaps and bounds to help you, just to, make you calm down. They help you a lot.
even I was freaked out before the interview, and Yashidi consoled me for like 15 minutes. She was like, "It's fine, Mehak, you'll do it." I'm like, "Thank you, Dee." Be moving on. Is there anything, or there must be, what is the thing that you like the most about Banasthali? Like, that you like, I cannot find it anywhere else other than this place.
Environment. I love the environment. I mean, just the sheer amount of fresh air that you get in that college is
I can
amazing.
understand.
And once I came back home for my first holiday, I think it was Rakhi break or something. When I
Hmm.
came back to Delhi, I was sick, and I realized now I know what pollution is. I did not have any clue what people are shouting about, but now I know. So that was one point. And the second, the best part about Banastali is that it teaches you about female companionship, what a female friendship is about, what is, feminism about. It broadens your mind, it
Yeah.
lets you deep dive into things that you never thought you will. And you meet such amazing girls, such amazing female examples in front of you, from teachers, from, professors, to your wardens, and especially your batchmates, and you have your seniors. I have had talks that I had not thought of, even in my weirdest dream that I'll be having with the people. And they have made me what I am today. Like when I'm and what the all of this experience does to you is it makes you very focused.
Hmm.
Like that's a difference I have seen. The girls that come from Banastali are pretty focused, that they know that okay, fine. Even if I have to do this, I have to do go through these many steps, because anything you get in Banastali is not easy.
Hmm.
You have to work for it.
Yeah.
So it becomes a habit to actually manage everything, scrutinize everything, and trust other person, and for sure help other women around you.
Yeah.
I love
That's
this fact about Banastari. It makes you an amazing female. I'm not talking to person or a human, it makes you an amazing female person. Yeah, that's what it does to you. I love the fact.
okay. That's maybe something we all should learn from our seniors. Is there any particular event
One
or
day,
any
yes.
particular thing that is like really attached to you or that taught you something?
Any particular event? There are a lot of events. One particular event that I think that was when, like, for the first year, I was not in any team. I
Hmm.
joined Team Karma, in which I am in second year. So, our
Okay.
first year, it was all about participation. And then, second year, we were under the guidance of our third year members who were, teaching us, guiding us to what we have to do or what we don't have to do. Then came in third year. And in third year, I realized that uh, things have many aspects to it. When we organized our first event of the year, that was Brainiac Spray, I remember it.
Hmm.
I remember everything about it correctly, because there's a shift when you go from participation, or from being a volunteer or helping your seniors, to actually becoming people who organize
Hmm.
the stuff. Then you realize it's so difficult, and at the same time it is an amazing outwardly experience when you go and organize something. So I think Brainiac Spray just sticks out in my mind because it taught me about team spirit in another level. It taught me about, creativity, imagination, so many things that I would not have thought if I had, just been thinking about participating. So organizing is amazing as well. So that one event
Okay.
is close to my heart.
What is the most memorable memory or what's the most memorable thing for you in your college life, in your whole college life?
Memorable memory. Say most of my memories, I would not even deny it, are related to clubs or events or participation, because
Okay.
all throughout my college life I have been, and very active participant. I have loved participating. I had been in organizing as well. So most of my experiences are from that side. And
Okay.
my most lovable memory was when I was participating. I think Yashi would know about this. I was might not know about this, but the event is like Melange. It
Yeah.
was organized by Innovations. She must have told you about it. Yes, I know. But Melange second year was very nice again. But uh, when I participated in Melange in my first year, I think that was the most, I should say, scariest moment of my life as well, and one of the most amazing moment, because just the sheer amount of spontaneity on this
Mm.
stage, the judges interaction, then
Yeah.
you had the crowd interaction. I loved the crowd interaction that day. It was amazing, like, because I, for the first time in my life, I thought that this, like, standing in front of an entire audience, just listening to you and hooting at a point that you really want them to get it, and they do, and at that moment you're like, this is it, this is what I came for, this is the most amazing moment. So I really like that. I
Okay.
just remember the rap battle we had at the end. It's amazing.
I really feel excited about the events now.
They really are amazing once you step out of hostel, that is. Yeah.
Yes, they are. I mean, we are the organizing people. We do not actually get to participate as much as other people because we're busy with the organization thing, like behind the stage people.
Yes, I completely agree. Like, first year was a complete participation year. Second year I was into organizing, so I didn't participate much, but I did. At the same time, I participated a lot in there as well. So yeah, if you're, just a personal point for you as well, that if you are into organizing, take some time off to have a participation experience as well. It will actually elevate you. It will feel lighter, and especially when you go to other clubs event or any other place that you go to, then you realize what you should do, because then you know what happens backstage,
Hmm.
and you are sitting at the front line, so you can imagine, like, okay, this is what they're doing, that's how it's happening, so it gives you a very nice experience. Okay, this is what we should not do, or this is
Hmm.
an amazing part and we should do it as well. So it helps in that area.
Actually, Yashidi pushes us to participate in every event. Every event. We cannot
She's an
skip.
active participator herself.
Yeah, so she actually makes us participate, even if we're like not willing to participate in that. She's always like, no, you have to participate. Just sit in the prelims. Even if you don't clear it, just sit there.
Yeah.
Sit there for
Just sit there
me.
and sit. Just go for the prelims.
Yeah, she does that
Prelims
for
are
us.
very nice as well, and that's an
Um,
awesome thing she does. I have to admit.
and
Just telling your juniors, okay, fine.
they when it comes to CSIT branch, everybody knows that everyone expects a good coding command. Like everyone expects a CS student to have a
Yes.
coding command on coding. So, do you have any piece of advice for our juniors who are in CS or IT or any other branch doing coding and they're new in the coding section?
Uh, I think this is one of the mistakes that even I made, which was that I shied away from competitive coding a lot. I was scared of it, to be honest, at an early stage, because I thought that I still have to work on my basics. I still have to clear my basic, and
Hmm.
I don't even know much about. When we were studying, we were in the line of studying DS and data structures and algorithms. I kept on thinking that I still have to learn a lot, so I kept pushing it till the time when I just picked it up. I realized, okay, if I had picked it up much earlier, my basics would have been like amazingly pinpoint clear by now.
Okay.
So this is my advice to everybody, that do not shy away from it or don't be scared of it. First of all, it's not like Instagram that everything will be public. It will be your own ID. So even if you do a lot of mistakes, it's okay. It's okay to make a lot of mistakes. It's okay to sit with your peers and ask them, I am not understanding this at all. Can you please just tell me about it? Or even go to your professors or your seniors. It's completely fine to shout out and say, I don't know. It will not mess up your career, it will not mess up your reputation, it will not mess up anything, it will help you. So just, be acceptable of the fact that you might not know something, or you might not understand something at one go, or even after like multiple attempts. It takes time. And have a go at competitive coding for sure, and go for the easy ones. There's no necessity that you immediately jump to lead code and do questions that are way above your level, or you're just like, this is insane, this is the most dangerous thing I've ever seen, I've done that. Worst thing to do. Just go and practice. Start from arrays, start from basic ones. Build up your logic. Once you start getting the logic behind the questions, it becomes much easier.
Okay.
Because once I started solving it, and I got that it's not that difficult. And sometimes, like, there's a program, I think it is to reverse a number, right? There's a program in CSIT. It is used in palindrome as well. It is how to reverse a number, check if it's a palindrome or not. This one program, I remember, I had taken CS, computer science, in 11th, 12th as well. So in 11th, I understood the program. By the time I came into 12th, I was completely okay with it. By the time I came into first year, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I understand the complete logic behind this. But till the time I came to third year, I met people who are just like not able to get the logic about it. It's a very simple program, but it happens sometimes you're not able to get the logic. But once they did, it has helped them in so many programs, in so many stuff, that now it's become a second habit to type the whole code. Like, most of us can type the whole code about it blindfolded. It's that easy for us now, and earlier as well. So the point is, when you practice a lot, practice a lot on your logical commands. When you do competitive coding, you sort of get a few tricks up your sleeve that you can do it blindfolded. So when you are actually sitting in placements and you get a question, you are not thrown off guard. You're like, okay, even if I'm not getting it, I know this, starting steps. I know write, how to start with the logic. Once you start, there's no stopping you. So
Okay.
one thing is like start, and second point, go to all your labs. Even if you don't want to go to theory classes, go to the labs. They'll help you. Labs are important. Go to labs, not just to have chit chat and eat, that we also did, but to actually study in labs. Those are very helpful. And have like a decent CGPA.
Okay.
CGPA
Um,
doesn't matter. It, like, I get it, it doesn't matter much, but eventually you'll find in your placements that it does. When all the companies that are coming have a minimum CGPA requirement, and you are not able to qualify for that examination, that hurts. So have a minimum CGPA of like 7.5. Have that.
okay.
Above that, everything is at par.
Okay. How has being a CS student helped you? Like, has it helped you at all to develop as a personality or as a person? Or is it like the same?
I don't think like CS or any other branch has an effect on your personality. I think it depends on how open you are to learn new things. I have had friends from biotech who are amazing, who really like to code, and I have gone into coding. And I have had friends who are from CS, but they rather have taken social science.
Okay.
So your branch does not matter, how you take it up matters. And of course, CSID matters in the way that companies that come to recruit them majorly for CSIT students,
Mm-hmm.
right? The core companies that come for EC, EE, or MT, they are comparatively less in number as compared to those that come for CSIT. So eventually, this branch helps you if you want to get placement,
Mm-hmm.
and the teachers help you as well, because they teach you many times from that perspective, or they tell you about this, their students experiences, the companies, what are their expectations. So CSIT helps you in that area for sure.
Okay.
And the amount of competition in this, because the maximum amount of students are in CSIT,
Hmm.
so you have a feel of competition. You get into it, I'm not saying that it is fierce cutthroat competition that you are afraid of the person sitting next to you, but yes, it does help you a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we all know that we get a lot of messages on our class groups regarding any internship or anything like placement workshops or something. So what is the correct time for us to start focusing on that internship part?
Internship part, I think it would be when you get a see. There are two type of things. One is your training, other is your internship, right? So sorry about that. So
Mhm.
uh, the training part, I should say, people take up a lot of courses, like they are learning ML, they are learning about Python, taking additional advanced Java courses, Android, etc. So if you want take one, or if you want to take one of those, you should start by you should start in your second year summer holidays. When you
Okay.
have done with your second year and you're coming to
Mhm.
your third year, you should take one of those courses. They'll help you in your minor project as well, if
Mm.
you want to take that further, right? That is a very nice time to uh, go for any course that you want to learn.
Okay.
Don't just focus on an internship at a level where you go and you might not even know what you're doing,
Okay.
right? First learn something and then attempt to go in that field. I'm not saying it is for everybody. This advice is not for everyone.
Mm.
Some people can go for internship and then learn a couple of things. But what I have seen in my batch as well is that in second, third year, majorly everybody goes to have a training and they learn a new skill. They come back, and when they come back from second year to third year, you see a change in students. You'll see
Okay.
a big change
Mhm.
because they have done something, even if they have not done something or anything about it. You see a change because students get much more serious. First year, I would not majorly recommend going for an internship because you are a lost soul at that point. You are too much into stuff that maybe you don't even know about. You're about like, should I'm going to learn blockchain, and 2 weeks later you're like, I am going to learn Android. Then you're like, okay, let's talk about Python. It's completely disintegrated. Okay, so it's nice to know about these things. It's nice to take up a couple of courses, but focus, like, try to get some experience by the end of second year, and then third year you'll be getting an internship. And of course, Udemy is everything, so you can go to Udemy anytime.
Yeah.
One of the best platforms.
What is the basic and the most appropriate pathway to to a better job or to a better placement? Like if you want to get placed in a nice company, what is the correct pathway to it?
See, I would not say there is any correct pathway. There is no like perfect option for it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it depends on how early you start your preparation and how immersed you are in it, right? So for example, if you start it changes from person to person. I have to say that it changes a lot. Some people start from their first year only, some
Okay.
start by the end of third year, some start
Mm-hmm.
when they're into for their fourth year. And it is possible that the person coming from first year may not get it, and the one doing from fourth year may get it,
Okay.
right? And it lot depends on timing as well,
Mm-hmm.
because see, in our college there is a rule that is, once you sit for a company and you are selected, you're freezed, right? So the next so by freeze, I mean, for example, you have given the exam for, let's say, TCS, right? And you have secured 3.5 LPA package.
Mm-hmm.
And you have accepted the package, so you're freezed in that company. So next time a company comes for, say, 4 LPA or 5 LPA, offering a package of 4, 5, or even 6 LPA, you would not even know if that company is coming or not. You will start receiving emails for it
Okay.
because you are freezed. You have got an employment, you have a PPO, sorry, you have an offer letter. So the college is also trying to get maximum students an
Please.
offer letter,
Okay.
right? So they
Mm-hmm.
also want them to get placed, so you'll be freezed. And what we have seen is that if a company comes with a package which is two times, like twice or greater than that of yours, then you will be getting their mails. For example, if the GS is coming, right?
Mhm.
Goldman Sachs is coming and they're
Mhm.
offering 22 LPS, then of course you'll be getting an email for that as well,
Okay.
but only for twice or above than what you have already
Okay.
got, right? So for an appropriate pathway to get the, let's say JS or the best company, I cannot actually tell you anything because it depends a lot on the timing as well.
Mhm.
Maybe you are already freezed in a company and you're not able to appear for another company's exam. So that happens a lot as well. But at the same time, what I should say is the most taken pathway is that by first or second year you decide like what you want to do. Basically, if you are going to web development or you want to go into, Python or Android, whatever you like. So
Mhm.
don't be a scatterbrain and be like, I know a bit about cloud, I know a bit about, blockchain, I know a bit about Python, I have done Java, I have done Android. If you're too much scattered, then it doesn't look that good,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
Because it might be even good. I can't say in this scene exactly, because it might be even good if the company is like, because the child or the student is very enthusiastic, they're extremely curious. But if you are supposedly in your resume you have written blockchain, and
Mhm.
then they ask you questions regarding blockchain, but you only had supposedly say a you know a very vague idea about what it is, and they
Mhm.
ask you questions regarding it and you're not able to answer, then that's a negative point,
Okay.
because you are writing that you have a proficiency in something that you have no idea what it is about. You have just read about it and not actually worked on it. That's why it helps to have one or two major criteria that you're working on, so that when they ask you about it and when you write it on your resume and they ask you about it, you don't know what you're talking about because you have given it ample amount of time.
Mhm.
And trust me, they ask whatever it's on your resume, they love to read your resume and they ask you from it. Your resume is the
Okay.
Bible for any recruiter and they will ask you everything from it if they want to. Sometimes they don't, and sometimes, most of the times, they do. Right?
Okay.
So an appropriate pathway would be number one, work on competitive coding
Okay.
so that you know how to appear for that exam, because the exam will be for like 1 hour or maximum 2 hours, and you'll be
Mhm.
you'll be solving like three questions, 1 to 3 questions in that time frame, right? And then the cutoff becomes very difficult because they'll be selecting like what, 15-20 students out of your whole batch of CSIT combined. And the criteria may even be that you have to solve all the three questions and not just one or two of it.
Okay.
Yes, that happens a lot because, see, it happens that you have solved two questions, you're halfway through the third question and the time is up. And when the list comes and you ask your friends that, okay, how many questions they did, they're like, I submitted all the three questions and that too before time. So at that moment you get a reality check, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm suggesting go for competitive coding, but that's just step one. That will
Mhm.
clear your step one, which is the online round. Next, of course, you'll be having your technical assessment where they'll be asking your resume.
Mhm.
So whatever you're writing in your resume, do not, just to make your resume look impressive, don't write any hilly nilly stuff that you have done. Stick to the point. If you're writing about your technical achievements, even if you're writing about extracurricular like I did, don't write everything that you have done, right?
Okay.
For example, if you're writing, I have done a workshop on MATLAB,
Mhm.
but you have only done one workshop and after that you had forgotten everything about it. So what
Yeah.
have you done in that workshop? Okay, you have done that workshop, what did you learn? Okay. And then
Mhm.
this and comes up, which is like, उसके आगे आपने क्या किया? आपने वर्कशॉप तो कर ली, अब आपने उसके आगे आपको इंटरेस्ट आया नहीं आया? So they ask you a lot about that. So whatever you are writing on your resume, make sure it's crisp and you know it to the T. You should know even a single comma that you have placed your resume, and make
Okay.
sure it's of one page. Don't exceed it. It's a one page. and sometimes they ask for a picture, they don't ask for a picture, your college will supply you with a, will give you a template. You can ask the placement team, they'll give you a template. So if you're having a picture, not having a picture, colored picture, black and white picture, always go for colored picture, don't go for black and white picture. These are something that we have asked from our seniors as well. So go for a colored picture and etc etc. But know your resume, right? And the third most thing is work on your personality development and the interview, because a lot of top coders have just not been able to clear the HR, and the HR is going to grill you a lot. They'll ask you many hypothetical questions that you might be thinking about like just right now, and you might not be able to have a correct response for it. Like what my HR did was he asked me a lot of questions like, okay, what if you are asked, you are given it, your a customer is calling you and they're asking for a service that your company does not provide. So now what will you do? So
Okay.
one option is, sorry, I don't have that service. Can you go and look for a competitor of ours and look there? But you can't say that, right?
Hmm.
So of course it goes on in your mind. I'm telling you, every stupid answer will come in your mind at that point, and don't even dare to answer that question in a stupid voice. These people are earning, they are earning a huge amount of money just to recruit you, and they are
Hmm.
not going to be joking about it. So keep it serious and
Okay.
don't joke around with your HR giving answers like, oh, I was just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. It gives a very bad impression, especially if you're
Okay.
sitting for an HR. So they ask you questions like this. So at that point of time, I think I thought about it, and eventually my answer was, I like to convince the customer and providing him with other services. If they do not, are not satisfied, I would just forward the call to my senior. Like, let me connect you with my senior; they'll help you. And
Hmm.
at that point, he was like, "Thank God you talked about seniors, and you realized that you will be having seniors." So at that time, I realized, okay, see, this is what my college taught me, and my whole experience in the team taught me that if you're not able to get anything, sir, please talk to my senior and I'll
Hmm.
forward this to my senior. Just dump it on the senior for a while.
I guess
So
that's
yeah,
the only thing that we all club people know, that if you do not know the answer, just put it on your seniors. They'll handle it
they'll
somehow.
handle it. They know what the situation, they have faced it many times, they'll be able to answer it smoothly. You
Hmm.
are just going to irritate the person more that you are talking to, right? So at that point I realized, okay, so you need to have an experience. So all this time the seniors talk about, or the club, I have seen the response. I've been in a club, I have first year
Hmm.
I was not in club, so I've seen the response both ways. Whereas students are not ready to participate,
Hmm.
right? So I
Hmm.
would say that even if you are an amazing coder, or you have a grasp on the technical qualifications, but you do need to have a personality grooming or a soft skill on you. You need to
Hmm.
have that. Without it, it will be very difficult. It will be heartbreaking,
See,
because then you
any
will be
tips?
eliminated in HR. For
Any
that,
tips?
I
I'm so
for
sorry.
soft
Continue.
skills.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's fine. I was actually asking you what was your question.
Yeah, I was just asking, is there anything you would like to advise us juniors on how to develop a nice soft skills, uh, on how to communicate with people, because it's very important.
Uh, First of all, as I said, participate.
Hmm.
And even if you are a hesitant speaker, just go out and speak. Even if you are very afraid of even going to sit for GDs, if you are very scared of going for group discussion, then to definitely go for group discussions. If
Okay.
you're scared of anything, just go do it multiple times. Anytime you realize it's not a big deal. Group discussions are an amazing experience, because at that time, when a question is being asked, if there's a panel of five people sitting, if you're in a panel of five people, you'll be getting five opinions.
Hmm.
And you might find out that, okay, that person's opinion and the way of thinking is way ahead of mine. Like,
Hmm.
I'm thinking about point A and he's already at point C. So, and at that point, you might realize, okay, that is how they're thinking. So, by the next time you come up into it, you'll be like, okay, fine, I know about this and I have heard a bit about it, so you can also add on to it,
Hmm.
right? So go for group discussions. If there is any like extempore kind of thing, go for that as well. Even if you're scared your English is not good, then definitely go for it. Whatever scares you is going to benefit you, and just go and do it. And third of all, do mock interviews
Okay.
with your friends. Do mock interviews, and if somebody has already had an interview experience, then just ask them about it, and ask them to throw these questions on you, because friends love to do that. Friends
Okay.
love to make you go on the spot and answer that question, then behind they'll be like, okay, now tell this answer this question, I am not satisfied. So friends help you in that as well,
Yeah.
because of course it's a very chilled environment,
Hmm.
and they know what your weak points are. They know that you're going to stumble on this point, so they'll always talk about that point.
Hmm. Hmm.
So have mock interviews and just take calm breaths, drink a lot of water, and once you're prepared, it's all going fine. The HR will not screw you. They're there to recruit you. Believe in that, and try to be truthful to the HR. Talk a lot about team spirit. They
Okay.
are they love talking about team spirit, to working in a team, because they don't want to hire you as an individual person. They want to
Hmm.
inculcate you into their team.
Hmm.
So whatever they have, imbibe the team spirit, and talk about having a good environment, and please don't start gossiping. I've seen a lot of people do that. Don't start gossiping. uh, don't do any of that thing, negative things. Talk in a positive manner, and of course, go and practice. If you have a mirror, go and practice in front of a mirror. It will help you. It has helped me a lot. Mirror will always help you.
Okay. The lastly, is there anything that you would like to tell our juniors, our first years, because they haven't seen our campus yet? They do not know what Banastali looks like. They do not know what it feels like to be there. So, is there anything you would like to share with them?
uh, I would suggest try not to have major negative thoughts about the place.
Hmm.
Whatever anybody, I have met people who have had extremely negative thoughts about Banastali, and I have met people who are elated to be a part of this university. We'll go leaps and bounds to say this has been one of a kind experience in my life. So I would say, if you are hearing negative comments, try not to think that your journey will be same as theirs. And from the positive comments, like, have a positive outlook. You will need to travel a lot, you'll be going
Okay.
on your foot a lot, you'll be walking a lot more than you think. But don't just crib about it.
Hmm.
Find a group of people that you are actually comfortable with, and those walks will become shorter, right?
Yeah.
And for food, I would say mess is fine. It's not that
Yeah.
bad.
It's
And if you
good.
it's better than most colleges,
Yeah.
per se,
Actually.
because wardens do listen to you.
Hmm.
If you Because I have seen many people having many issues like mirchi khana nahi khana, garam pani chahiye, दूध में मीठा नहीं चाहिए. Like, there are many people who are having kind of things that they are peculiar about, and the wardens do that for them.
Hmm.
So talk to your warden, and for sure, do not mess it up with her. You don't want to mess it up with your warden. Don't do that.
Definitely.
Don't mess it up with your warden, and try to have try to have a bond with your uh, roommates, for
Hmm.
sure, because they're going to be with you for the whole year. If you're sick, if you're not, they're going to be with you whole year. And you'll find a lot of friends is something that everybody is able to achieve very easily. I
Yeah.
think friends you'll be able to find. um, you can crib about the distance for a while, and sorry to say, but kurta to mandatory hai.
Yeah, I
कुर्ता
guess
पहनना पड़ेगा.
kurta is better than jeans. I mean, it's all airy. It makes you feel comfortable. Jeans are so skinny and it just makes you feel like, why are we wearing this?
uh, I would not say everybody would share that opinion, but
I
yes,
mean, yeah.
kurtas are can be a delight, or they can be really really painstaking as well. if you don't like it. But after a certain, I think I came in first year and I did not like wearing kurtas. By the time I was in fourth year, I would be like, kurta hi pehna hai na? Okay, fine, chalo bahar. Just you have to wear kurta, right? It's fine. You'll get habitual to it,
Yeah.
and you will just find things amazing. You'll start finding things amazing.
Mhm.
So yes, you might not be able to go out of the campus, but trust me, there are so many things inside the campus. Just tell them you have an airstrip, and they'll burn with jealousy. I have done that trick a lot of times.
I use it a lot.
I do too. Just tell them, yeah, we have seen a couple of planes in the hangar, and then they're like, you have a hangar? Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, a pool, horses, you know,
It's
it's
a lot of
normal.
space.
Yeah, it's normal. And then throw the. I have done this a lot. I throw the fact that our campus is 1,000 acres a lot more than I should, and I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's huge.
I guess everyone does at some point.
Yes, exactly. And trust me, the 4 years, I think you will feel like a caged animal at times. Everyone does. They want to go out and explore. Uh, but at the same time, you realize it's just for the next 4 years. After that, trust me, nobody is going to stop you, and I think then you will actually want them to stop you.
Yeah.
You'll want something to actually, keep you in place. So yeah,
Mhm.
Banasari life is pretty sorted if you want it to be. It's simple,
Yeah.
but it's
It's
very
better
nice.
than our hometowns. So,
So yeah, you love it. I loved it. Amazing experience. I would recommend it.